Before we start, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and leave a comment. Your support helps me bring you more powerful life stories that truly touch the heart. Thank you for being here. The small room smelled of lavender and dust. Sunbeams danced on the walls, painted a soft blue, Mom's favorite color. Sarah sat cross-legged, flipping through an old photo album. In every picture, her mother's smile was warm and open. Sometimes, Sarah felt she could reach through the glossy surface to touch her mother's soft skin or catch the familiar scent of jasmine perfume. "Sarah," a sharp voice cut through the quiet house. "Where are you? I told you to mop the kitchen floor." Sarah flinched, quickly hiding the album under her pillow. Olivia stormed in, without knocking tall, with perfect hair and icy gray eyes. "I'm calling you, and you just lounging around," she said, scanning the room with disdain. "Staring at those photos again? How long are you going to waste time? Get to work." Sarah stood silently. Arguing was pointless, even dangerous. "I'm coming, Olivia," she murmured, as the woman added. "And make your bed properly. I won't let you grow up a slob." That was 10-year-old Sarah's life since her mom passed away. A year and a half ago, her dad brought Olivia into their home as his new wife. At first, Sarah hoped Olivia might not be a mother, but at least a friend. When Dad was around, Olivia was kind, calling Sarah sweetie or honey. But the moment he left for work or a business trip, the mask came off, revealing a different woman. "Dad, she left me without dinner again," Sarah whispered that evening when her father, Peter, returned from work. They sat in her room as he read her a bedtime story, like always. "Sarah, come on, not this again," Peter sighed, rubbing his temples. "Olivia said you refused to eat the meatballs." "She's lying," Sarah blurted, her voice rising, but she froze when she saw her dad's frown. "I just asked to eat later because I was doing homework. She called me lazy and said I didn't deserve food." Peter patted her head gently. "Sweetheart, you're just not used to her yet. Olivia's a good woman. She cares about us. Maybe you're exaggerating a little? Trust me, she only wants what's best for you." Olivia appeared in the doorway, smiling sweetly. "What are you two whispering about?" she asked, her tone soft. But the glance she shot Sarah made the girl shrink. "Oh, Sarah's just spinning stories again," Peter said with a smile. "Says you left her without dinner." Olivia gasped dramatically and sat on the edge of the bed. "Peter, how could you think that? I spent all evening begging her to eat." "Sarah, honey." She took the girl's hand, and Sarah barely stopped herself from pulling away. "How could I do such a thing? You just didn't want the meatballs, said you weren't hungry. Remember?" Sarah stared at the floor, silent. There was no point arguing. Her dad would believe Olivia. He always did. "See, Peter?" Olivia sighed. "I try so hard. Maybe she's just craving attention and acting out." Peter hugged his wife. "Don't worry, Olivia. Sarah's still a kid. She'll grow up and understand." When they left, Sarah buried her face in her pillow. "Mom," she whispered soundlessly. "Mom, I miss you so much." The next 2 days were relatively calm as life could be when you're walking on eggshells. But on Wednesday, Dad announced another business trip, this time for 3 days. "I'll call every evening," he said, packing his suitcase. "Sarah, listen to Olivia, okay?" Sarah nodded, a lump of fear rising in her throat. 3 days alone with her stepmother. 3 endless days. Olivia stood beside her, hand on Sarah's shoulder, smiling. Her fingers dug painfully into Sarah's frail shoulder, a silent warning. "Don't worry, dear," Olivia purred. "We'll have a great time with our girl." The moment the door closed behind Dad, Olivia spun Sarah around. "All right, kid, we're alone now. Time for a deep clean. Start with the bathroom, it's a mess." "But, Olivia," Sarah said timidly. I have a math test tomorrow. I need to study. A sharp slap cut her off. Sarah stumbled, clutching her stinging cheek. Don't talk back, Olivia hissed. Your grades don't matter. Keep this up, and you'll skip lunch too. Got it? That evening was one of the worst in Sarah's life. She scrubbed the bathroom, mopped the floors, and polished the stove until her fingers burned from harsh cleaner. By 9 p.m., she was done. Can I have dinner? She asked faintly, standing in the kitchen doorway. Olivia, lounging with a glass of wine in front of the television, didn't even turn. Dinner time's over. You worked too slowly today. Go to bed. Exhausted and hungry, Sarah shuffled to her room when the phone rang. It was Dad. How are my girls doing? His voice was warm with care. Everything's great, honey, Olivia replied, her tone instantly soft and sweet. Sarah and I had dinner. She is doing her homework now. Want to talk to her? She handed Sarah the phone, her eyes flashing a silent warning. Hi, Daddy, Sarah said, forcing her voice to sound cheerful. How's my girl? Everything okay? For a moment, something broke inside Sarah, maybe exhaustion, maybe hunger, maybe months of bottled-up despair. No, Dad, it's not okay, she said quietly but firmly. I cleaned all day. She didn't feed me and slapped me when I mentioned my test. Silence hung heavy. Sarah felt Olivia tense beside her. Sarah? Her dad's voice wavered. Are you sure? Maybe you're tired and blowing things out of proportion? No, Dad. Tears crept into her voice. Please, believe me, I'm not lying. Give the phone to Olivia, he said after a pause. Olivia snatched it from Sarah's hand. Peter, don't listen to her. She is just manipulating you. No one hit her. Yes, she helped with chores, but that's normal. And of course, she ate mac and cheese, her favorite. Sarah didn't stay to hear more. She slipped into her room and closed the door. Her dad wouldn't believe her. He never did. But something shifted after that call. The next day, when Olivia barked orders and threats, Sarah caught a new note in her voice, unease. That evening, another call came from Dad. I'm coming back early tomorrow, he said. Make something nice for dinner. That promise gave Sarah the strength to endure another day. On Friday, when she heard the key in the lock, she ran to the hallway. Dad hugged her tightly. How's it going without me? He asked, studying her face. Wonderful. Olivia chimed, stepping out of the kitchen with a smile. I made your favorite roast. The evening passed surprisingly peacefully. Olivia was attentive and kind to both of them. After dinner, as Sarah got ready for bed, Dad came into her room. I need to talk to you, he said seriously, about what you told me on the phone. Sarah tensed. I wasn't exaggerating, Dad. It all happened. Peter looked at her for a long moment, then sighed heavily. I thought about it the whole way home, and I decided to check something before my next trip. Check what? You'll see. He kissed her forehead. Sleep now, little one. Everything will be okay, I promise. A week later, Peter prepared for another trip, this time for 2 days. I'll be back Wednesday evening, he said at breakfast. No delays, I hope. Before leaving, he spent a long time in his study, tinkering with his laptop. Sarah didn't know what he was doing, but he looked focused and determined. Don't miss me too much, he said, hugging Olivia, then Sarah, and mouthing silently to her. Stay strong. As soon as the door closed, Olivia's kind facade vanished. All right, kid. She grabbed Sarah's chin, squeezing hard. Today and tomorrow, you're on chore duty. Sort my clothes, wash, iron, and don't you dare ruin anything, or you'll go hungry for a week. Those 2 days were a nightmare. Olivia nitpicked every detail, making Sarah redo tasks over and over. The first evening, she withheld dinner because Sarah poorly ironed a blouse. The next day, she woke Sarah at 5 a.m. to rewash all the dishes, including crystal glasses they rarely used. When Peter returned Wednesday evening, Sarah could barely stand from exhaustion. "How's it going?" he asked, giving Olivia an odd look. "Wonderful," she exclaimed. "Sarah's been such a helper." "Glad to hear it," Peter said, a new cold edge in his voice. "Sarah, go wash up and get ready for bed. Olivia and I need to talk." Sarah was in bed when raised voices came from their living room. Her dad spoke quietly but firmly at first. Then Olivia's indignant shout rang out. "How dare you? I bent over backward to make us a family. And you believe that spoiled girl's fantasies." Sarah crept to her door and cracked it open. Peter sat at his laptop, Olivia pale beside him. "Fantasies?" he asked calmly, turning the screen to her. "Is this a fantasy too?" Sarah couldn't see the screen, but she heard her own crying and Olivia's sharp voice. "Shut up, you little brat. Keep whining and you'll skip breakfast for a week." "How?" Olivia whispered, recoiling. "You spied on me." "I set up a camera," Peter said, closing the laptop. "Not to catch you. Honestly, I hoped Sarah was exaggerating, that you were the woman I thought I loved." He paused, his eyes darkening. "But you are a monster. You abused my daughter, a child who lost her mother." "Peter, listen." Olivia reached for his hand, but he pulled away. "I was just trying to discipline her. She is disobedient, out of control." "Enough." Peter stood towering over her. "Pack your things. You have 1 hour. Then I'm calling the police and showing them the footage." "You wouldn't dare," Olivia cried. "I'm your wife." "Not anymore," Peter snapped. "If you're not gone in an hour, you'll regret it." Sarah held her breath. Could it be true? Had Dad finally believed her? An hour later, the apartment was quiet. Olivia left, slamming the door and shouting curses. Peter sat on the couch, face in his hands. When Sarah stepped out cautiously, he looked up. "Dad?" she whispered. "Is she really gone?" He nodded and opened his arms. Sarah ran to him and he held her tightly. "I'm so sorry," he whispered, tears falling onto her hair. "Sorry, I didn't believe you, that I let you go through this." "Did you really set up a camera?" Sarah asked, when they'd calmed down. "Yes," he stroked her hair. "After your call, I couldn't stop thinking. I set up a hidden camera in the living room while you and Olivia were at breakfast. And you saw everything?" "Enough," he said grimly. "She'll never touch you again, I swear." That night, Sarah slept soundly for the first time in months, free of fear. The next morning, she and Dad went to the park to walk, eat ice cream, and talk a real day off, the kind she hadn't had since Mom was alive. "You know," Peter said as they sat on a bench watching ducks in the pond, "Mom would be so proud of you. You're so brave." "But I was scared," Sarah admitted. "All the time. Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared," he said, putting an arm around her. "It means being scared and still doing what's right. You told the truth, even when no one believed you. That's real courage." Sarah smiled at him. "You were brave too, Dad. You admitted you were wrong." "I should never have doubted you," Peter sighed. "I promise I never will again." And Sarah knew he'd keep his word. They were a family again, small but strong. No Olivia could ever come between them again. Thank you for listening to the story until the end. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends and loved ones. It motivates us to keep working on new stories every day. Don't miss the next amazing story that's about to appear on your screen. We're very grateful to have you with us. See you soon.